What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and subbed, and let's get into this. Hollywood's in trouble. It's been in trouble for a while now, as we've had flop after flop after flop. I mean, 2023 was just one big loss, at least for Marvel, certainly, especially with the exception, of course, of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was a holdover. So when we continuously say they're saying survive till 25, stay alive till 2025, even that is looking grim for them, and they're finally acknowledging it. So it was a bit of a surprise, but a welcome one to be sure, to see this from the Hollywood Reporter. The summer box office crisis. Is the sky really falling this time? And yes, it is. So let's get into it. Within minutes of the actor strike ending on November 9th, Ryan Reynolds was making plans to get back to London and the set of Deadpool and Wolverine, one of the many movies shut down in mid-July when the walkout commenced. He and director Sean Levy were determined to make their July 26th release date, which they were able to accomplish. For other tentpoles, it was too late, and they would be ultimately decamp to 2025. And a lot, as Gary from Nerdrotic points out, were outright canceled, which was a tactic. The strike was used to cancel a lot of projects that were greenlit that they didn't really want to go forward, and get rid of writers' rooms that they didn't really want. One studio head says the impact of the writers' walkout, which lasted 5 months until a settlement was reached on September 27th, also played a major role. Think of it like this. If the actors shut down the oil refinery, then the writers shut down the oil fields. Toward the end of the SAG-AFTRA talks, studio chiefs were accused of being disingenuous when saying their 2024 release calendars were in danger every day the 4-month strike dragged. Now, the impact of those warnings is coming into view. You think? Without the usual parade of tentpoles, including a Marvel superhero pick to kick things off over the first weekend of May, the early summer box office is in tatters after a tough winter and spring. Domestic box office revenue year to date is 2.68 billion, down a whopping 24% over the same quarter last year and 42% behind 2019, the last year normal before COVID-19. And you can't blame COVID for any of this anymore. They're realizing that too. In fact, every week has been down this year from 2023. Smallest gap was 11% when Dune Part 2 and Godzilla versus Kong: The New Empire opened. And yeah, we're seeing them go out to just releasing old movies in theaters because movie theaters are struggling. They will go out of business. The deficit has reignited the sky is falling debate over the future of theatrical and whether it can survive the post-pandemic world and the rise of streaming. Yeah. Most people, rather than going to a movie theater and paying $18 to hear someone else talk over the movie you're trying to watch and then find that movie be mediocre to begin with, because the quality is just not there the way it used to be. It's a long time since we've had a year like 1994 where almost every movie is a banger. Maybe we get one or two good movies a year. There's a reason Dune 2 is still currently holding the highest box office count. Box office observers agree that the ecosystem is incredibly fragile, but hang on to the hope that movie going will pick up in the coming weeks when all audience tentpoles Inside Out 2, Despicable Me 4, and Deadpool and Wolverine come out, followed by Beetlejuice, which doesn't look horrible. At least Michael Keaton looks like he's into it. But there won't be a steady volume of product until 2025. That's to stay alive till 2025. Nor does it help that many movies are opening behind expectations. Yeah, all eyes will be on Bad Boys Ride or Die this weekend, which Irwin is going to see. We are concerned, says one studio insider. You'd be a fool not to be thinking about the people who are not in the movie-going habit and are firmly ensconced in appointment viewing, which is a huge problem. But there hasn't been a real igniter. Movies like The Fall Guy, which I saw, and unfortunately the audience did not show up for that one. It's already on streaming, not even a month later. And Memorial's Day Furiosa, which saw the largest flop of a Memorial Day, the lowest opening, only 25 million since the aforementioned 1994. Furiosa were never intended to be all audience summer tentpoles that could generate huge grosses, but people expected them to be merely because of when they were dated. Oh, people expected them to be tentpoles just merely from when they came out on a Memorial Day. The Apes franchise, which saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes released in May, has never risen to the full-blown tentpole level since it is sci-fi and targeted at older and younger males. Except for one installment, all the films have grossed less than 500 million. Yeah, so they just don't have much coming out. Before the strikes, the 2024 calendar was wildly different. Deadpool and Wolverine was supposed to open over the first weekend of May, in keeping with tradition, but had to move due to the actors' strike. Fall Guy had been set in early March, which is arguably a far more forgiving date, but was delayed till the first weekend of May. The weighty list of films that were set to open this summer included Paramount's next Mission Impossible movie, Sony's untitled Karate Kid movie, where they're going to learn Kung Fu, Disney's Mufasa the Lion King prequel, which I know you can't wait for, and Marvel's The Thunderbolts, which has been undergoing 5 months of reshoots, and Bucky Barnes is said to barely be in it after the very beginning. So, winter calendar was also impacted, namely Avatar 3 will no longer open December 20th. In some instances, it's impossible to say these movies move solely because of the strikes. The Avatar films are notorious for moving. Other films intended for 2024 that are headed for 2025 include Blade, which yet again is being redone, and we've heard Mahershala Ali is gone. We've heard that like 3 or 4 times, but we're hearing it again. And then, of course, Captain America: Brave New World, Snow White, which also got delayed 6 months. Thank you. Weird. And also this.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But
turns out it's her scenes that got cut. Huh. One veteran financier says moviegoing will rebound when the calendar returns to normal. Sounds like Cope. And yeah, this is basically them going to say it's not looking good. And a picture tells 1,000 words. Look at this. Look at this. The drop from 2023 to 2024. Oofa. And this, unfortunately, I know this is what happens when you focus on agenda over storytelling, when you hire people who aren't actually creatives, who don't care about shepherding the stories and the characters that they're given, and only care about their own narcissism. This is what you get. Garbage in, garbage out. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.